is here to stay, and it's just a matter of time before all of us get into the bandwagon, right? But having said that, there are some compelling reasons why we want to be hesitant as a company. And the primary reason, of course, is inclusion as far as privacy laws are concerned. And we want to be extremely careful how and how is it that we're going to really target this particular group. Because as Renuka rightly said is, we don't even know what's the audience that we're trying to target. I mean, this is an audience which has literally grown up, or for that matter, growing up on social networking sites. And you have no idea what is it that they're trying to put it across, because that's the way they project themselves. And we don't want to get into a situation where, we have clauses of employment at will, we have clauses of discrimination that we will not do. So we want to be extremely careful of how we're going to do that. That's one part of it. Having said that, I will go back to the quote what, it's a very appropriate statement what Dale Carnegie says that, this is the way the world connects you with, right? We have constantly been classified and calibrated, by the world by four things, four major things. What is it that we do? How is it that we look? And what we say and how we say. Now, if that's the agenda, if that's the way the world is going through, and we are seeing it in front of our eyes, social media is definitely going to change the way things look like. And 10 years ago, we never even imagined this is what's going to happen, right? So having said that, and I agree with my friend Nitin, that these are very early days. We want to be extremely careful of how we're going to do it, because that's the audience that we want to target. At the same time, our whole agenda is how do you really humanize the whole prospect? Even before the guy comes in a face-to-face interview, I would like to have my recruiter speak to this potential candidate and humanize the process. Is there a way that I can engage him constantly? Is there a way that I can attract him before even he decides whether he wants to join a company or not? So I think that's where we are at this point of time. So all said and done is, it's something which is going to happen. These are baby steps. It's just a matter of time before we get into those laws. Second, of course, is as a country, as in India, do we really have the so-called cyber laws which is going to protect each other? Me as a prospective employer, at the same time as a potential candidate that I'm getting to the table. And I don't think so we are there. I think that's the concern that we have.
Okay, for us, social media, yes, is the place where we can say that, it's the place where the magic begins and also the problem starts. So, this is the place which we are not utilizing this specific social media at this moment. We are able to utilize it only for the niche skills, as Renuka already mentioned about this. Only the niche profiles we are looking at LinkedIn or other mediums which could provide us specific skills. But yes, for 1 to 5 years of experience, people which we mostly recruit, which consist almost 70-75% of the entire crowd of the organization, is recruited through different portals, and we prefer employee referrals and other things. Like 40% of our crowd is from employee referrals. So, using the employee referrals, yes, I mean, we utilize details of the employees, utilize those employees to specifically put details into LinkedIn and their Facebook accounts, try to see how they can refer us as, as many as possible referrals, and all of that we focus specifically through social media. Otherwise, it is only for the niche skills wherein we go to LinkedIn or other things. Usually, mostly we use job portals and employee referrals for most of the day.
Yeah, from my organization perspective, as I was talking to somebody, yes, we are beginning this. We know the importance of social media, and definitely we would like to go ahead and try it out in much more depth. But having said that, I would not like to go away from my traditional way of, as rightly mentioned by my friend Saji also, that that connect has to be there, because unless you meet the person, unless you feel that person, even I'm keen on knowing how to assess that person, just by having somebody having an account in Facebook or LinkedIn or some other social site. How do you assess that person's quality? For me, it's a very difficult question, but then yes, I would really like to know more, and even my organization is looking forward to that, because that will not only save the cost, but also it will save the hiring time. And if I could look at the traditional method versus the social networking hiring, traditional method definitely gives you a lot of inputs as to not only the candidate but also the candidate background. Just by somebody putting his thoughts on day-to-day activities some people may don't even update their profiles on a regular basis. So how do we judge those people, just by, by one page information on the social media, or, let's say LinkedIn? How do you judge that person's quality and, caliber, is something which is, we still have to wait and watch. But I think, me and my organization definitely feels that, this is the platform which is upcoming and it has a lot of potential. And definitely this is going to serve not only my organization but also to the overall industry in a very large way.
Saji, I'd like to go back to something that you said about privacy and the lack of cyber laws, etc. And it's interesting that a lot of you pointed out, checking the resumes on, say, LinkedIn, etc. You touched upon the same. So that's an interesting outcome of many of our discussions earlier also, that there are no vanilla resumes anymore. So whichever social site that you go to, whether it's LinkedIn or any of these talent communities that you mentioned, even on LinkedIn you can go on and on about your key skills, and you can talk about your your niche talent, etc. So presenting yourself on the social media, candidates present themselves on the social media very differently. So as an organization, how do you assess, how do you judge? Do you have any parameters for those who are already doing it, for those who are not doing it? Is this something that worries you? How do you judge? How do you verify? There are lots of people who are talking about their skills on various in various communities, etc. How do you verify?
So at the risk of sounding very cynical, I think the recruiter today in most of our companies, he's a very sad person, because every CV looks wonderful, and this is all the more when you go look at LinkedIn and profiles like that. I mean, every day the recruiter will come and cry and say, I saw this CV, I got so excited. It was like a 120% match. And when you meet the guy, he's like a 2% match. There is nowhere he knows a word about Oracle applications or about Java. But the CV has everything copied in it. So I think that's a major problem that we have. Maybe it's very peculiar to the Indian continent. I'm sure most of us here have done recruiting. So we agree to it that a lot of things that are portrayed in the digital space are not really true. So we have this past history of having to do face-to-face interviews because people are not even what they sound on the telephone. So that's one of the negatives that you have in India with social media.
Let me flip this to you. So the traditional thought is like this, or the thought is like this. I would not say traditional. Portals, they are also digital medium. Okay? So portals, the resumes are hidden. You have to take the license to see. Social media, the profile is open. Okay. Chances are, or not chances, there is certainty that in the portal, resumes which are hidden, people fib about the information. They write wrong information, incorrect information on the CVs. But in the social setup, typically people don't do that, because the other guy knows that you are, writing nonsense, which he can comment to somebody else, and he can spoil your network. So that's the thought, or that's the way that it's being approached. And organizations are also approaching like that.
That's the impression that recruiters have.
Hidden CVs, people lie their teeth off.
Yeah,
I know
you open up a
Yeah.
but anyway, I'm just getting at this
about this
topic.
ideal, yes.
Yeah,
But
I agree with what Renuka says. I mean, today the challenge is, we have to literally question the maturity of the recruiters. Okay, and I definitely see social media playing a key role, because the very essence of a recruiter, what we knew or what we did, is changing. Right? Let me give an example. In our organization, what we are attempting is there a way that we can split recruitment into two parts? You have one particular team which actually does this, behavioral search, or whatever the traits that you're talking about, more from a social media analytics perspective, right? Now, the flip side is this. Now, just the other day I was talking to a candidate, and he says, here is this candidate who says, my mother is down with diabetes. I can assure you that this person is also going to get diabetes in the next couple of years. Now, if that's the maturity of an individual, saying that just because X got diabetes and you're also going to get into the same scenario, he's come out with a list of behavioral traits that this guy is stressed. Okay, it's a matter of time before he also falls sick. do we really want to get into a situation like this, right? So guess what I'm suggesting is that the very behavioral traits or competency of our recruiters is changing. Okay, and as an organization, we need to be cognizant of that fact and look at people with those traits. What are those traits? We're looking at people who really can be as snooty as possible and try to understand, beyond the resume or beyond the, so-called page of the guys put across. Is there a way that we can understand that trait? Okay, so again, as I said, I know this is a wish list. We are doing our baby steps, but I think we have to get there. Okay,
sure.
Take for example credit cards. I mean, the organization that you have in credit cards. How do they check the behavior of customers? Okay, is there a trait that you can get out of that and then use it for recruitment? Rather than rewinding or spinning the wheel once again. Is there a way that we can get some lessons from there and start giving to the recruiters?
So Saji, so what you are trying to say is that informally or formally, how is this validation happening through the recruiter? Through social media. Today, the example that you're giving, is it a formal thing or it's informal?
It's an informal thing. It's an informal
Can
thing.
it be channelized into something?
Yeah, but then comes the worry is, I don't want to intrude into a situation and then ask him, what, do you really have the sickness? Okay, and what do you do in your spare time? My worry is I'm a bit concerned about my recruiter's maturity to ask those questions because A, he's so excited, as Renuka rightly said, the CV talks great thing, working for a tier 1 company, coming from a pedigree institute and so on and so forth. He's got excellent references coming from, the CEO to all the guys saying that this is an ideal guy that I would vouch for. And he's all excited, but the fact of the matter is when you get the guy on board face to face, he's not even worth it. And today my challenge is I've got my panelist who's literally, sipping through resumes. At the end of the day, he doesn't even get the kind of a guy that we want, right? So that's where we're still deliberating as to what should be the approach, okay? But to answer the question is, yes, informally there's a mine of data that you can get. Are we there? The answer is no. Will we get there? It's a matter of time.
Okay. You mentioned about the fact that what's on a social media platform is they're not selling themselves, so they can't be lying about it. Let me tell you that my recruiters go and look at endorsements and say, this guy's got great endorsements. The endorsements are all cooked up. They call up their friends and tell them to endorse.
Yes, that's
the level of cooking up. So, who are you supposed to trust?
See, I'll tell you what, even if it is cooking up, you can figure that out from the kind of people who have given the reference. You can figure out what kind of person he is. So that advantage you get either ways. So one point I think Mr. Subramanian mentioned, kids today are very, very informed. I would not say intelligent, but they're very informed. So they would know which company to talk to, what to talk to. You wanted to share something, I think.
Yeah, see, actually, just summing up as to what's going on here, we really require a very mature system here. The simple reason is that while we are talking about the CVs getting cooked up or the profile getting cooked up on one end, there are also, see, the generation gap is no longer about between a father and a son today. The generation gap is less than 2 or 3 years because what I did 3 years ago, the person sitting at that level is doing something completely different. So if you really look at an organization which really wants to hire a lot of people with different profiles of age groups, if you look at, you are saying there is one group which is cooking up a lot of things. There's another group which does not even want to spend that 10 minutes to beef up his profile on the social media. So what is the amount of time would one have to put in to get the actual information between a highly cooked up CV to a 4-line written saying probably a senior manager in some place and the rest of it is blank, is where the recruitment system really needs to put in that extra effort to make sure, let alone going into the assessment part. Even on the, even when you start off, what you actually have are two contrasting sets of information from where you actually have to do a lot of mining before you even get to the stage of assessing. So there's a lot of effort there.